about relief that she talked about, you see, it's actually the detail lies, the devil lies in the detail, as they say. If you look at the food subsidy, it has come about 90,000 crores this year. Of course, the finance minister, I've said it in the parliament, that she did the best thing that is possible in terms of accountability and transparency by getting it off the budget, below the budget line, into the budget last year. But it has come down by 90,000 crores. Now, this relief which is being given by way of Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Yojana or in the states from the State Food Security Act, it's actually a sunk cost. Because the food has already been purchased or has been procured by giving the MSP rates. And it is supposed to have been getting stored in the godowns and instead of warehouses. Instead of that, is now being distributed to the people. Despite doing this, your food subsidy is down by 90,000 crores this year, which basically means this is not a stress on this year's budget. Then the second point here is the fact that when it comes to, in this the entire budget, people say it is damn good to be actually spending money on government-led investment, infrastructure investment, and that will spur growth, pump private the economy, do everything. But if you look at the last year's 2.91% of GDP in current year, and if you take the states things, it's about 4 point some odd. But if you look at the last year's capital formation, last year in 2022, 21-22, the capital formation was 1.70% of GDP. So not all the capital investment that was projected got invested in creation of infrastructure. If you, I'm waiting for the demands which actually at sea. I think a lot of it actually went into, which is also considered, is classified as capital investment into stocks and into giving, I think, government securities and lots of these areas, because this is what they do. But the capital formation, gross capital formation, is only 1.70% of the GDP. If you exclude repayment of past loans is also included. So what happens? To bet on these capital investment, and which has grown now to 35% this year, including the 1 lakh crore, but given to the states is linked to conditionalities, which I think again is unfair. It is trampling on the government's, but every state's rights. They decide what is important. What is important in Odisha is not probably important in Gujarat or in Kerala. But they have done that. So that's a separate issue. But if you look at capital investment creating jobs, there are two issues over here. First is the lag. If you look at the statistics, or which is available in the Niti Aayog, in fact, I've written an article on this, that India's record of completion of projects on time so as to get an ROI which would attract private investment because of this government-led infrastructure investment is not going to happen. Is not happening. There is the cost of capital is turning out to be much more because of the delays and because of the leakages and because of various supply side problems, and therefore the private investment is not picking up in this country. It has not happened last year. It is not going to happen this year. What is happening, however, is that only a handful of people, of course, are investing in the capital investment, which is not generating adequate jobs as is expected to generate. And therefore, the jobless growth that has happened in this country for years, it's not just last year, not just this year, I'm just saying last so many years. The idea is how to get this private investment into the economy. And I think that's something. In the finance committee, I keep saying this to all bankers, that India's problem is that the cost of capital is still very high. The cost of transaction is very high. The cost of intermediation is very high. If you're talking about digital revolution, then decrease the spread.